Hello, hello. How are you guys? Oh my gosh, this is like the first time I'm on. Look at that light. Ugh. First time I'm on YouTube. I can't believe it. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Raven Woods. I'm the CEO and founder of Autism Mama Rocks IEP, and I help parents gain the knowledge and the confidence to become the CEO of their IEP meeting. With that said, post a 1 below if you're in the group or if you're in the page. If you are new, first through third time catching me live. 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. Make sure you tell us, all of you, where you're from. And if you want to tell us anything about your child, please do. We want to know more about your kiddos. This is a no judgmental space. And if you are on the group, okay, you have to click that stupid Streamyard thing. All right. It's like streamyard.com, whatever. Okay. So I think it says right here, right across, streamyard.com/Facebook. And it's a Facebook thing where you have to click it one time saying that your picture can show up on that live stream. All right. So it's just like Facebook where your picture, is the circle. It's the same thing, but it's a permission thing because of the group. So on the group and on the personal page, you have to do that. On the page itself, you do not. Okay. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. So we are going to talk about data. And first, I want to tell you guys, make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok. Okay. I'm going to be doing quite a few TikToks each week, just fun stuff, hopefully humorous, some content, some dancing. You didn't hear that. And, just having a little bit of fun. Okay. So again, post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. Post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. I am going to be starting back on the group, and I'm going to start holding the Q&As. Okay. So the Q&As I did a lot last year, and if you know, I went live a lot last year, and the reason I did that is because I was really loving everything about what I did. And then, with COVID happening, I got so burnt out that this year I've had to kind of take it easy, if you will, and just take clients, here and there. And, I've stayed very consistent, but I've had to turn a lot of people away because I have just had to have a mental breather. So I had a client call last night. So I only have 2 spots open now. Sorry. For January. So if you're interested in getting your child's IEP back together and ready with evaluations, formal evaluations, the IEP straight, everything in order so that you get ESY and then move into next year really clean with an awesome IEP, make sure you message me on WhatsApp. All right. You can message me on Facebook Messenger, but I don't check that often, but I will put the link here for WhatsApp for you so that all you do is download the app, and it's so easy. And I'm a personable person, so you can video chat on there, and it's really nice so that you actually get to talk to me versus, it be a phone call. You know what I mean? So I really like that personal interaction. And with what I do, it's very important to have that connection. It's very important for you all when you choose an advocate. For number 1, please choose an advocate that knows their shit, please. And then number 2, you need to choose an advocate that works with you, that is going to be all about you and your child. Most importantly, your child. Okay. You want someone passionate and that you connect with, I know personally I'm not for everybody, Hi, Stephanie. How are you? I don't know who put a 2 that says Facebook user. You got to do that whole Facebook Streamyard thing. Click, that's going across the bottom of the screen. I'll post the link in a second. But once you click that one time, I promise you won't have to click it again. I think Bill said he had to click it twice once, but it could have been a Facebook funky thing going on, but let me grab it really quick just so I can post it for you guys. I hate how Facebook does that, where if you stream, you have to do this whole click this, click that kind of thing. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. but it is what it is. I can't control it, can't stop it. So might as well accept it and move on, right? Okay. So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it in the comments for you. So all you got to do, if you're on the group, all you got to do is click it and, you go into it. I think you say yes or something, and that's it. That's all you got to do. So it is now posted. All right. And then WhatsApp, let me post that for you as well so that I can get to talking and not have to think about it. Right. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so now I'm posting the WhatsApp. All right, so I just posted the link for me to be able to see your picture. All right, it's a Facebook thing. I apologize because I know it's a pain in the butt. It's like you want to get online and you're like, okay, God, I got to go somewhere else just so she can see my picture. It's not my fault. I'm sorry. All right, so I posted the Streamyard. You just go to streamyard.com/Facebook, click it. Yes, the picture can show. Okay, done. And then the next one is where you literally will go to my WhatsApp if you want to connect with me, because I only have 2 spots open. I had 4. I'm only taking people for January for, the new year. And I'm ready to get some darn IEPs back in check. I went through some due process cases and I've just been so crazy busy, and I had to also pace myself from last year so I didn't lose my mind. And, my husband was ready to kill me because I was in an IEP 24/7, even at night, because I was doing California, and, it was in IEPs till like 9 o'clock at night. But now I've paced myself, so I'm feeling a little bit more refreshed. I'm going to be starting the Q&As again once a week on the group. So watch out for my posts with that. And I am going to get things back going. I know a lot of people were like, what happened? Where have you been? But I have been really busy with clients, and I've been wanting, I kind of made it a thing for going into this school year. So I don't start my year in January, with this, New Year's resolution. I start my year in August when school starts, and really it's 24/7 because I have IEPs all through the summer. So it's one of those things where, as an advocate with everything that we're dealing with, we've just had to pace ourselves. Lord, I'm doing the same thing. It's like this whole break was IEPs and complaints. Yeah. So you just have to, pace yourself, and as parents, going into, this, I call it the spring. We got the fall and the spring is really what I call it. There's no winter. Okay. It's the fall and the spring. And, so going into the spring, it's, I usually like to, if you haven't had evaluations, I like to get those going. You have a time for that if you start now. And then we move into reviewing those evaluations. And then we move into creating that IEP and that BIP if that's needed as well. So, and then you have time for that if you start right now, because you remember they got 60 days to do the evaluations. And you got to have the meeting, So, and then at that time when we're creating the IEP, that's when we address ESY or any kind of compensatory services or anything else that your child needs. Okay. And then you have an IEP also that's perfection, in my words, going into next year. Okay. So with that said, and you can check out my reviews on the Facebook page, but I just want you guys to know that one of the most important things to me as I'm getting ready to launch my membership site and the present levels and goals course in the next, one is getting ready to launch in a week, one's going to launch in 2 weeks. And I wanted to go over data with you. All right. I talk about data all the time, but a lot of people have actually said, well, what's data? I've asked for data too. What's data? And if you don't know how to go into the meeting and know exactly what you're looking for, okay, when you're looking for data, you need to know what you are looking for. You need to know what that data looks like. You need to know what it is that you are wanting them to provide you. All right, which is going to be given to you on a silver platter in my membership site. Okay. Remember, I said my membership site is going to be a place, not like the group. Okay. It's going to be where you get me 3 hours a month, an hour and a half and an hour and a half. Or I've even thought about doing 1, 2, 3, an hour each, just to keep it kind of better for everybody. Just depends. One of them will be solid content, always a Q&A on both. And then the second one is where you will be able to get the opportunity to be put into the hot seat, basically getting an IEP makeover and me evaluating your child's documents to show you and everybody else my crazy mind as I go through them. So, in my 4-hour IEP makeover evaluation consult, what I do. So I'm giving that to you in a nutshell, so that, because really it's a change of mindset, and so when you change that mindset of how you're looking at things, then you're able to really start focusing on changing how it is you're going about your IEP process. Because it's not so much that many of us are doing things wrong or you're doing it wrong, that's why it's not working. It's more about the approach and the knowledge of law. Okay. And when I say law, I mean idea, okay, which trumps state. All right. There's only a couple things that don't trump state, which I've talked about before. That idea basically says, oh, we're going to leave it up to the state, but there's not many. And so whenever schools, they'll say, oh, it's our policy. That's what we do here. Okay, well, I don't really care what's in your policy, ma'am, sir, because if it's not in accordance to the law, okay, your policy means nothing to me. Now, one of the things, an idea that I can say is with IEEs, and this pisses people off. So with IEEs, okay, this is fun stuff. I love talking about this one. And we're not even talking about IEEs today, but hey, let's talk about this for just a second. Basically with IEEs, all right, the school district has a right to provide you with their little packet. Okay. That's what I call it. Their little packet. And their little packet will say that you can only spend so much money on psychoeducational, on a speech, on an OT, and whatever evaluation it is that you're going to get for an AAC device, for assistive technology, whatever. Okay. And then they'll give you their list in their packet of the people that they will recommend to you. Okay. That they've gone into contract with before, that they know. All right. So you have a choice to go with their people, but you also have the choice to say, I will not go with your people, which I don't suggest. But if you choose to, fine, that's your prerogative. Rocco, my dog in the trash drives me nuts. I need to do like a BIP for my dog. So basically, you don't have to listen to that. All right. So the criteria under which an IEE is conducted includes the qualifications have to be equal to, all right, equal to the provider who did the initial evaluation at the school. All right. And then Rocco, come here. And then they also have to, they can't be under that. Okay. They can't be, the school can't use a PhD person and you use someone with a master's. That sucks. Okay. So that typically does not happen, but I have had it happen once and it sucked because it's very difficult to find certain people who have a PhD. This was a BCBA and I was like, oh, this is killer, but it only happened one time, but it was awful. So bottom line, their criteria, okay, cannot prevent you from obtaining an IEE. So for example, I've called, from their lists before, and I've called various people in the area. All right. As many people as I possibly can, just as an experiment. All right. And this was in Texas. And then I called their people. Do you know their people were more expensive than the people that I called on the outside? And then I called their people again. And I said, hey, I'm this school system gave your name out, blah, 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 oh, yeah. And then the price changed. They didn't know I was the same person, but their price all of a sudden changed. So when you call people outside of their list, if the price is more, all right, start writing their name down and how much, all right, know that they cannot prevent you. They can't say you have to go to our people because you can't find anybody within our list or within the area that is going to charge this much. All right. Another thing that they actually can put into play is how far you can go. That doesn't usually stick too well either, and the reason for that is because if there's somebody in your area and it's like a 7-month waiting list, but someone who's 3 hours away can get you in right away, they can't prevent you from getting an IEE earlier rather than later. Make sense? So there's ways around this whole IEE bullshit, okay? But that's important. I don't know how I got off on that tangent, but it is what it is. Don't forget, guys, to post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. Post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. Make sure you click that link above in the comments that says streamyard.com/Facebook. All you got to do is say okay, and then you can post and I can see your picture. All right. I've noticed since I've had this Streamyard, which I'm like, okay, should I go back to Ecamm Live? Because I don't get a lot of comments as much on Streamyard. So I don't know if you guys are having issues. If you are, let me know and I will definitely address that. Okay. All right. So let's talk about data. So when you are looking for data, all right, it's basically just like a FERPA request. All right. So, and you guys will get this on my membership. All right. All my files, emails, that sort of thing. You literally can download it, make copies of it, copy and paste it, whatever. Rocco. He's getting in the trash. So with that said, you need to know how to ask for this information. All right. So you're going to get a FERPA request document email. It's what I call my first email that I send out for my clients. Okay. It's a very detailed email, almost overwhelming to them, which is a good thing. All right. I mean, to the point where they're like, holy shit, because there's a lot there. I'm offering, what type of evaluations I want. I'm stating all of the things that I want from them that they need to provide me. And it's alarming to them because typically the parents are not asking for these things. And so then, hi, Pam, how are you? Hi, Dawn, how are y'all? So when I come into play and I'm asking for all this stuff, they're just like, whoa, what just happened here? And the funniest thing is when school districts, and they do this all the time, they play advocates against the parents. And they'll say, oh, well, we didn't know that you were so upset. We thought that we got along great. And, they'll say things like, you didn't need to hire an advocate. We can work this out. And I laugh about it, but as parents, you guys are smart enough to realize, well, shit, if that was the case, why didn't you do that a long time ago? But they do what they do, right? So with that said, when you ask for data, you need to make sure that you're asking for the right thing. All right. So let's talk about that. Okay. All right. Pulling it up. All right. So one of the number one things that I like to ask for, hang on, I'm pulling it up, y'all. All right. All right. So one of the first things you want to definitely make sure, hang on, let me make sure this is the right form. Okay, here we go. Has anybody out there made any type of FERPA complaint? Anybody? Those are really good complaints to make. So I'm curious if there's any of you guys out there who have made a FERPA complaint. Post in the comments if you have, and how did that work out for you? What happened? What did the school system have to do? Was it founded? Let me know. What happened? Go ahead and post. Anybody? All right. All right. So in my first email, I'm just going to kind of read it off to you. All right, here it is. You guys ready for this? All right. You guys are so patient. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so one of the first things that I request, all right, for data, all right, is the cumulative education record. All right, so that can mean a lot of things, but you still want to say that. It's basically your child's scholastic record. All right, you want to ask for that. All right, you want to ask for all data in your education management information system. All right, so that's the EMIS. So all school districts have an EMIS. It's whatever the program is in which they create their IEPs, and different states use different programs and that sort of thing. You know, you probably hear where, oh, change this, put this here. I see this all the time. You know, you can add that, anything can be added to an IEP, and they'll say, oh, our system doesn't allow that. Bullshit. Yes, it does. But bottom line, their system is that EMIS system. Okay. And so it's also on how funds are spent, and for what services the district is billing the state or federal government. Okay. The next thing that you want is test answer sheets, booklets, all of those types of things. A lot of times, you know, if an assessment is done, if it is written in, if that booklet is written in, that becomes part of your child's scholastic record. But if it's not written in, then you actually can still see it. So don't let them say, oh, it's copyrighted, you can't see it. You actually can still see it, but you have to go into the school and look at it with whoever it was who did the evaluation. Okay. You want a complete printout of the entire school career, if you will, of your child, including any disciplinary records, incident reports, memos, notes, correspondences, placement statements, their rights, all of that. Anything that they've recorded in regards to your child. You want to ask for any type of notes in regards to anybody who's worked with your child, you know, psychologists, teachers, etc. You want to also make sure that you state that records of any destruction of the student's records, including the date, content, and person authorized to destroy those records, you want that information. Okay. So if they destroyed anything, you want to know who did it, why, and that sort of thing, and who authorized it. Okay. And so there's so many other things you want to ask for. You want to, if you look at your progress report, All right. You know, those 2 damn sentences that they typically write. If anybody else has more than 2 sentences, please tell me, because all I see is 2 sentences. I've seen 2, I've seen 3 or 4 every once in a while, but it doesn't tell you anything. And I'm like, you know, parents that say, "Oh, am I supposed to get a progress report?" Yeah, you're supposed to get a progress report, but you ain't missing nothing. You know? And that's the thing that sucks, is you're supposed to get this progress report to tell you how that child is doing. And then you get this progress report with your child's goals, which you already should have in the IEP. And then you get their then you get their 2 sentences of, "Oh, your child's making sufficient progress. Oh, your child's progressing towards such and such goal." Okay, awesome. Thanks for the information. Don't you want to know how your child's progressing towards that goal? What are they doing to progress towards that goal? Are they having any issues with the goal? You know, it's kind of one of those things where all we hear about, I have to switch the switch in IEPs. I had to say one time, "I don't care about their strengths." I said that. Yes, I did. And the reason I said that is I was so freaking frustrated at the fact that that's all they want to talk about. We're not negating that we want to know about their strengths. That has to be in the present levels. It does. Make sure you guys share this, by the way. And I'm going to starting in January, but I'll take you guys from today's date forward, and I give Amazon gift cards and all kinds of stuff. So we're going to start that. So make sure you share. And I put you in a hat. Skylar picks, you know, a couple people out of the hat, and we go from there, and we do it every month. All right. So here's the thing is schools, I don't know why they do this. They always start on strengths, which is fine. Okay. That does have to be in the present levels. It does. And it's not that I don't want to know the child's strengths, just like you more than likely want to know the child's strengths, but don't we already kind of know that, you know? Now, if you want to tell me something new, like they just mastered, you know, 10 letters and they only had 5 before, or something like that. Okay, yeah, that's a strength. That's what I want to know, that they actually made some progress towards that letters are actually becoming something that's proficient to them. I don't want to know that they like to slide, or they like to swing, or that they love bean bags and bouncy chairs or poppets. I don't want to know that, because that's already going to be in the present levels. Okay. And it's already going to be something that's noted in any type of service that they're in, because it's going to be a reason why they have a service. Right. So I want to hear about academically or behaviorally, what is their strength? Okay. When it comes to, then I have had to say, you know, we need to talk about the child's needs. That's the whole point of the child having an IEP, right? So if a child has an IEP, we have got to make sure that we know what those needs are, because we sure as hell don't find it out in the present levels and in the progress reports. They're not putting enough stuff in the progress reports or the present levels. They are failing to include this information, and the present levels should outline everything about your child. The school say, "Oh, we don't have to put everything. It doesn't have to be like that." No, it needs to be a damn book. Okay. It needs to explain everything of how the child is doing and what their needs are. Now, does that mean that that book has to then go into goals and they have to have a book of goals? No. That's where you pick and choose. Yes, you actually pick and choose, guys. What goals are more prevalent than others? Which ones are more important? That's what you have to ask yourselves. What goals out of all of these needs are most important right now? All right. And so I tell my parents when I talk with them, I say, okay, we have to pick some reading goals. We have to pick some, and reading is, you know, your sight words, all of that, prefixes, etc. We have to pick mathematical goals. All right. And I think outside the box. I try to put in goals of things that schools actually don't seem to teach, like money. All right. I love putting money into a math goal for a child that is of that age, counting the nickels, dimes, quarters, all of those things. I love that goal. All right. I have all kinds of goals with that. Um, reading, oh, I go to town on that one. But so you have reading, you have math. All right. Science and social studies, I personally don't pay too much attention to. Do what they want to do. I'll help write it in the right way if it's even in the IEP, but it's not ones that I focus on. All right. Then in regards to um it's just so cool, all of the things that um you can actually do with that present level if it's written right, you know? And one of my good friends, the special education boss, she's one of the advocates I talk about all the time because, she is one of the only 5, okay? There's me, her, and 3 others that I would recommend. That is it, okay? And there is a lot of reasons for that. But what I don't look at, there's certain things, that I look for, and I'm that picky, 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 picky parent, the one that everybody hates because I'm that picky. And I'm that picky because, just don't mess with Skylar. You can mess with me all you want, but not with my girl. She is my girl, and I will do anything in my power to make sure that she has the education that she needs, that she's happy, and everything else that needs to go into play for her. She already has enough struggle, just like all of our kids. And if I can do anything within my power to make that struggle any less, then that's what I'm going to do. Okay. And I don't give up. And I'm persistent as hell to the point where that's when I just get her the hell out of my face. Okay, what do you want? I love that when I get that from schools. What do you want? What do you want? Please ask me what I want. I will tell you exactly what I want, and we will put it in the IEP. All right, that is the best words. That is words that are going on T-shirts that I am making for you guys. What do you want? Well, let me tell you what I want for my child. So that's important, all right, is making sure those present levels are where they need to be, all right? And in order to do that, that's why you need data, all right? You cannot put present levels together just because you meet for an IEP meeting. You cannot do that, all right? Stop doing that. I get messages all the time from people who say, hey, I have an IEP meeting coming up in a week or 2 or 3. Can you give me some advice on what I need to ask for? Well, if you haven't had an evaluation in the last year, you need an evaluation, a full formal evaluation in every darn thing, cognitive, academic, assistive technology. I don't care if you think your child does or doesn't need assistive technology. There's so many other things other than like an AAC device as far as, them not being verbal that they could use. Okay. So you just want to have the test. Who cares if they need it or not? Just do the test. OT, PT, speech, all of these things. One thing that I noticed, my daughter did, there's music therapy and dance therapy, and my daughter did dance therapy for 8 years. And I rarely hear schools talk about that anymore. 8 years she did it. And during the summer, she did therapeutic riding. Okay. I took her to a place right here locally, and, she did horseback riding an hour. At first, throughout the year, she still did it. And then even over the summer, she did horseback riding camp where it was like 4 or 5 hours. And then they also did swimming and, other campy kind of things, Pam says, are they supposed to give you data through the year? Of course. And, you're supposed to ask for it because they're not going to call you and just say, hey, Pam, how are you? It's so nice to hear from you. It's so nice to talk with you. What data can I give you today? It's kind of like, hoping the school system will call you to actually let you know that your child's not making progress. And it probably sounds crazy, but that's the phone call I want, or the email that I want. Okay. Because we have children that are in special education. To think that they're not going to struggle, to think that they're not going to not make progress in certain areas would be unreasonable of us. So, why is it that school districts do not contact us to let us know when our children are struggling? Isn't that when you want a phone call or an email? I mean, why are they so afraid? Well, let me tell you. Give me a second to pull this up, y'all. All right. So I'm going to hide this. Yeah, it's hidden. And I wrote, okay, can y'all see it? So I wrote, hey there, anyone out there told to not talk much in an IEP meeting? You ready for this? 96 comments. 96. That's a lot of comments. Okay. So here we go. So there's some that say it depends on the circumstances, but usually I have no problem talking during the meeting. I have one right now that may go to court, so we are being careful with what we have to say. Another one says, well, I've witnessed even the admin not saying anything when parents ask questions. Yes, I was told not to say too much or just ignore some questions because the parents would twist it and use it against me, the school district. Being new, this seems weird and very cringy. Agreed. Another one says, when I was at, and she mentioned a school, yes, now experience brings respect and my admin does all the listening. They also understand that I am the expert at the IEP and in my district, they are ones in charge of speaking. Another one says, I was told not to mention certain things unless the parent brought it up. Another one said, yes, I disregarded. If I need to cover something, I will. It is about the child and the parents understanding, not about admin or the start of another IEP. Anyone telling you to hurry up doesn't understand this and needs to reprioritize their thinking. This is a child. Agreed. Another lady said, our most recent team meeting for special education, we were told to shorten everything up, that our meetings were getting too long. Not sure what happened to letting students and families have input. Crazy to me what the new expectations are. Oh yeah, this gets even better, y'all. Another one says, I think what they meant is don't say too much, less is more, provide facts and what you can do for the child goal-wise. That way, if you go off track and provide additional information, you might back yourself into a corner that you can't get out of. What are they scared of? What is it that you could be backed into a corner on if you're not doing anything wrong? I don't get it. Ugh. Another lady says, you have to remember for some of our parents, it's a lot of information all at once. If we are all throwing things at them, I'm not really sure what that has to do with my question. Another one said yes to my question of, are you told not to talk in the IEP meeting? But only during meetings with litigious parents or parents who we know will be asking for expensive services. That is my daughter calling me. Sorry about that. Skylar, I'm busy. But only during meetings with litigious parents or parents who we know will be asking for expensive services that they want the district to pay for. So I definitely keep my mouth shut and let my director do all of the talking. Can you freaking believe that one? Let me read that to you again. My question was, does your school system and an admin tell you to be quiet in the IEP meetings? This lady says yes, but only during meetings with litigious parents or parents we know will be asking for expensive services that they want the district to pay for. So I definitely keep my mouth shut and let the director do all of the talking. What? the heck? This is what teachers are saying, guys. Another one, my mentor always says less is more and only share if it's necessary. I'm more of a personable person. I want the parents to feel like I care and understand about their kiddos' needs, but don't want to overshare to put me in a bad spot. It's complicated. What do you mean, not overshare? This is the parents we're talking about. What do you mean? What does that mean? Another one says it depends on the reason. If someone point blank told me not to talk much without good reason, I would probably talk more intentionally. I like her. um, Another person said, I was told that my meetings always seem to take longer than some other teachers, but I feel like we have more service providers to cover, so it's not just me talking. Um, Another lady, to my question of, are you told to be quiet in the IEP meetings? She said yes with 3 exclamation marks. And she said, I was shocked, but got it. Stick to the plan and get out. All business. This is what teachers are saying, guys. This is what they're saying. So when it comes to your IEP meeting, that is what they're saying. Share this live, please. We need to let people know what is being done. This is your children. They are not talking. They are not giving you information about your child. This is not right. It is wrong. And this isn't a bash on teachers because, again, it's what they're told to do. But they still have a choice. I will say that. They do have a choice. But I understand the predicament at the same time. But in regards to admin, screw them. This is what is said. It's like sending your child to daycare and not knowing what happened, and your child got smacked all day, and we're just not going to tell you about it. You won't know. What you don't know won't hurt you. Your child knows. Your child got smacked all day, but if the babysitter doesn't tell you, I mean, you're just not going to know. That's what's happening. So at school, who knows what's happening because they're saying don't less is more. What the hell are they doing in the classroom that less is more? Why can't you tell me what you're doing all day? Why is less more? Explain that to me. I don't get it. Why is less more? Why are they scared to tell us things? Why are they scared? If just say me, okay? Confrontational parent, all right? I'm going to question everything. Why would you be afraid of anything that I have to say if you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing? Because it's not about my child making progress all the time. I know that my child's not going to always make progress on everything. I know because why took her 4 years? But I get it because I was a teacher, but I mean, I knew that that was a difficult one. I knew that. Okay? I knew. Sky, I'm on live. I'm going to come work out in just a minute. Yeah. Okay. I'll take a seat. Okay. All right. So yeah. I was shocked with what was put. I'll never give those names out. I'll never, exploit that, with respect of them being honest, to be quite honest. But the fact that these are the things that are happening, that's scary as shit. I mean, you want data. I was talking to a parent yesterday. Let me read you a couple more of these. All right. Again, let me tell you what my question was. All right. Here, I'm just going to take a picture so I don't have to show the site. All right. So my question was this. Okay. Can you see it? I know I'm on like a thingy where it's like blurry or whatever. So it says, "Hey there, anyone out there told to not talk much in an IEP meeting?" Okay. And then those were, a lot of those answers that I got. And then, yeah. So here's something. We read the IEP verbatim. Okay, I like that. But then she says, we were instructed to keep present levels to a minimum. Less is more. Another lady actually responded to that and said, "Oh my God, what?" I responded to that and I said, "Oh my God, are you serious? Why?" Um, Another teacher said they can use what you say against you in litigation. It is best to just read the present levels and modifications, and be done with it. Well, in my mind, what I would say to that teacher is you can read whatever the hell you want. You're still going to add all the shit that I'm going to tell you to add because that's the stuff that you have to put into the present levels. So you can read whatever you want. I don't care what you read. Um, Another teacher, and I'm not, tell me what you think about this. All right. Tell me your thoughts. All right. This lady said, I feel like the teachers don't care. I don't, I don't know if I would say that. I don't know what to think anymore, honestly, because hearing this stuff just makes me sick, to be quite honest. You know? Um, One lady said, I do send present levels and goals and accommodations home so that parents can read them to make the IEP quicker. Um, one lady said, we have a schedule to keep, so most meetings are 45 minutes. That's nice. Those parents obviously don't know any better. Um, if you're not running the meeting, maybe otherwise, it doesn't make sense. I don't understand that one. Um, Another lady says, I had a director tell me that my meetings shouldn't take more than a half an hour, said I should have everything written and finalized ahead of time, and that I shouldn't go through every part of the IEP. Okay, that was a huge fate violation that your admin just told you, lady. Let me read that again. I had a director tell me that my meetings shouldn't take more than a half an hour, and said I should have everything written and finalized ahead of time and that I shouldn't go through every part of the IEP. Well, God help you if you're ever in an IEP meeting with me, um, because I'd have you read the IEP verbatim. Um, Dear God. Um, Another person said, I'm allowed to talk, but only if it's brief. Um, Another lady, I got a lot of less is more. So another lady said, yes, less is more always. Um, I thought it was cute. Some of them said, I'm a talker under stress. But IEP shouldn't be stressful for them or us at all. Um, Another lady said, stick to your agenda. Well, that's if the parent agrees to that agenda. That's as long as the parent participated in creating that agenda. If not, the agenda is non-existent if the parent says to you that they choose not to abide by it, because by law they don't have to. They don't have to abide by an agenda. There's no law, an idea, or the state that says you have to abide by the agenda. This is what we're talking about first. This is what we're talking about second. This is what we're talking about third. Okay? There is no law, state or federal, that says you have to do that. So whenever a school district says something about an agenda, I will politely say in advance, please make sure you share that with myself and the parent. We will then address it and put in what we need to put in. And then we will get back to you so that everything that we want put into that agenda is put in there. And then we can agree to abide by it. If that's not done, there's no agenda going into place at all. We won't follow it. But to be quite honest, guys, I actually like agendas as long as the school respects the fact that the parents are equal team members and you both combine what you want to discuss. You know, one of the things that school districts do that drives me batshit crazy is they will take a meeting that you requested and flip it into a meeting that's convenient for them. So for example, they'll flip it into a meeting about eligibility because, you know, you have to have that each year. They'll flip it into a meeting about evaluations. Maybe you didn't ask for evaluations. They'll flip it into a meeting about something else that they need to have so that they can cover what they need to cover, even though the meeting was requested by you. Now, I don't mind when that was done or is done, as long as they ask me first. Have the decency to say, hey, I know you asked for this meeting. We want to respect that. Would it be okay if we also discussed this? Since we need to do that anyway, and then it will limit how much more we come back to the table. And most of the time, if that's done, absolutely. But if you just try to put onto, and you guys got to look at those meeting invitations. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many I send back. Almost all of them. Redo this, re-say this, readdress this, put this in. This is what we're discussing too. Because it's not in there, you don't have to discuss it because that's a legal document. And don't sign them. You don't have to sign them. You can send an email. Yep, I'll be there. That's it. Don't sign it. I get that all the time. Oh, I had to sign the meeting. Should I sign? My parents message me. Should I sign the meeting notice? No. You don't got to sign the meeting notice. Keep your signatures off everything you possibly can. Only sign it if you have to. And if you have to, make sure you ask somebody to make sure that you know that you have to. If you're not sure. Okay? Do not sign anything unless you know 500% that you should sign it. Ever. I don't care if they tell you that they're going to put you in the sewer if you don't sign it. I don't care if they tell you that they're going to call CPS if you don't sign it. Or get you on truancy. Or whatever the hell else they want to threaten you with. Or they're going to bring their attorney into play. You don't sign anything until you're 500% sure that that document is 100% valid. To the T. Through and through. Or like these teachers said, they don't want it used against them. The school district will use it against you in a heartbeat. And they won't think twice. Not twice. They're worried about what you're going to use against them. You need to be worried about what they're going to use against you, which happens more than the other way around. I'm going to leave you with that. All right. I'm going to do a TikTok tonight. So if you haven't followed me on TikTok, make sure you do that. And Instagram. Okay. Make sure you share this. All right. And again, I only have 2 spots left. All right. I posted above in the comments here how you have to click, because you don't have to be on here to do it. You can do that facebook.com/Streamyard or whatever it says that's above, so that I can see your pictures when you post. And above is WhatsApp. All you do is download it, and then it's easy. You click my link and you find me. And I get that a lot quicker than like Facebook Messenger, because you know how things get all jumbled that way. Yes, it's a binding contract. Hi, Carolina. How are you? Okay, so Jamie says, and if you are just catching me live, go back and rewatch this. You will fall flat on your face when you hear the things that are said. It will shock you. And honestly, after it shocked me, because it wasn't that much of a shock because I already knew it, just being in IEP meetings, the worst part about it, just even for me, even knowing it, is actually really seeing it and writing and actually printing it out. And like that validation of, yes, they are told to shut up in IEP meetings. Yes, they are told to say all those things. You know, the one that blew me the most, was the one who said, you know, but they're not going to talk much, that they're told to literally not talk much at all. And even when asked questions, to answer at a bare minimum. I mean, what's even more shocking is I'm like, I hope I'm in a meeting with some of these teachers one day, because the ones who say, "Oh, I just rushed through the present levels," or the one that says, "Oh, I send them home so that the IEP meeting can go quicker." Honey, it ain't going to go quicker, because we're still going to start on that same damn first page. That's what's going to happen. When I say to the school district, "No, we're starting on the first page." "Oh, well, we already went through that in the last meeting. We don't got to go through that again." Yes, you do. And you're going to go through it, and we're going to start on that first page with what's the child's name? What's the parent's name? What's their address? Yep. I make them go through it page by page. Why? Because it gets it into my brain and the parents of every page. Did we miss anything? And I like to be very meticulous, word for word. But I'll tell you, I can't tell you how many times they've had a birth date wrong. They spelled the child's last name wrong. Disability categories, huge. Did I tell you about the time when I was in an IEP meeting in Illinois? Illinois sucks, by the way. Illinois, Michigan, New York, Illinois. I always got to count on my fingers. All right, Illinois, Michigan, New York, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts. 5. All right. Texas and California, I'm handling. I got them. All right. They're a pain in my ass, but I got them. But these 5, nightmare. All right. So if you get an advocate in those states or an advocate for those states, you better be damn sure they know the laws. Okay. Because those states fight. Okay. So you need a fighter. All right. So yes, if you haven't watched this, go back and rewatch it. The things that are said is unreal. Make sure that you share this. And I'm just getting ready to hit an hour and 2 minutes. So see, I'm watching my time. See, I'm doing good. Doing good. Jamie says they have us sign the top page like a check-in. That is okay, but I make all them sign it first. So if it means like, "Oh, I'm there," then yes, you can sign that, but make sure they all sign it first. Okay, then you sign it. All right. So that's important. And do all of your IEPs online, guys. Don't go put yourself in that position in front of them. Stop doing that. Don't. Ever since COVID, I don't know, it created this genius way of having IEP meetings online, And why go show up with 10 other people and you to have that anxiety? No. Wear short shorts like I am right now, a nice shirt, and come to the meeting. That's it. Have all your papers thrown across the whole floor, ready to go. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I'm all organized. I never have pants on. I did not just tell you guys that. I have pants on, but not pants on. Oh, God, I kill myself. All right. Yeah, you guys share this. All right. All right. Did I answer everybody's question? Okay. And don't forget, for those of you on the group, that you got to click that stupid Streamyard link. Okay. And if you're on YouTube or the page, I don't believe you have to do that. If you're on the personal page, you do have to do that. And then also above in the comments is the WhatsApp on how to get me. Okay. So, but if you need to Facebook Messenger me and I send it to you that way or walk you through it, I can do that too. Okay. Whichever's easiest for you. All right. I just want to make sure that and yes, Pam, I already told you. Yeah. Illinois is I don't like them. Progress report is their option. Yeah. So data with progress reports. All right. And data can be, guys, written work. Okay. Math. They got to show their work. All right. What are they working on? Another way to get data is you can sign a paper and your child, more than likely has direct instruction or something with math or reading. Have them record it. And have them record it multiple different times so you know what's bullshit and what's not. All right? Because if you don't see mistakes, you don't see any of that realness, then you know it was, okay, they did it 50 million times and then finally did it and the child memorized it. I want that transparency. All right, so I think I got everything. All right, so post any other questions you have below and I will respond to them, all right, on YouTube page group. And I will make sure to respond. I'm getting better at it. I know I was on it last year, but I wore myself out. So I'm pacing myself, all right? So if you need me right away, just call me or message me on WhatsApp, okay? All right, guys, have a great evening. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. All right. So make sure you subscribe and do all of that fun stuff. All right, guys. I will talk to you soon. Have a great evening.